Oh,
Ah, right. Hang on.
hey.
All right, so let us know when we're good.
Now let's catch her when we got her.
I think I'm here.
Great.
Give us 1 minute. We're just gonna fix a couple things and double check and we'll go live.
But before we hop on, Mama Lou, Dr. Barry, pleasure to meet you virtually. I can't wait to meet you next week in person. Thank you so much for what you do.
Pleasure to meet you.
All righty, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to another episode of the Green Room. We continue our hurricane and cleanup stories. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about politically, cannabis wise, everything wise. So today we have a special guest. She's known as Mama Lou from Fort Myers. She's a huge advocate for people that are displaced, people that are homeless, less fortunate. And we have the pleasure of working with her next Saturday when we bring down Universal Crescent Clinic is going to be doing a free medical clinic in which we'll be treating anyone that has no health care insurance. We're trying to spread word down there. We have a great group of physicians heading down, nurses and non-medical personnel. We're still taking collections. Thank you everybody for the generous donations of collecting.
And one of the stuff that's back in the room. And listen, we better get Mama Lou on now while we have connectivity. We've tried to do this 3 weeks in a row, so we know how spotty it can be. So welcome, welcome. And thank you so much for what you do. We know of the unbelievable.
Oh, God bless you guys for all you do.
Well, listen.
So tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Oh, I've been doing this for a long time, hun. 20 plus years, just taking care of those less fortunate, meeting their basic needs mentally, physically, spiritually, just trying to be an arm to what they may need in the community. Seen a lot of depression in these last few weeks. We're having down here because there's a lot of infection, upper respiratory, open wounds, different things that I'm noticing firsthand that I'm seeing a lot of people, and I'm cleaning a lot of things with peroxide and going, that's not good. You need to wear gloves and different things like that. There seems to be a lot of respiratory situations going on right now.
Good to know, Lucy.
No, the emergency, right. I mean, the emergency is far from over. It's only been 4 weeks since the storm. And I know that's, it's so hard to fathom. I know I've been off all week, just time-wise, and Ruta knows that. I thought it was this weekend we were going, I want to get down there, Mama Lou, and
actually,
help.
I think it's perfect time.
We all do, but we don't want to come down and be gawkers. We don't want to come down and there's no purpose, right?
We won't have time, Dr. Barry. Let me tell you, I think we're going to be really busy that day, so I don't think we'll have time for anything else but treating patients.
There's so much going on, and just the hygienic issues and the spread of, listen, my wife has COVID. Everybody knows this is a very unusual green room because I usually sit next to Ruta, but I didn't want to wear a mask.
We won't allow it.
Right. No, listen, we've been in code yellow in the clinic this week, which means we see our patients outside and I isolate from the staff. I feel great. But Patty got off a cruise ship where literally 70 people have put on Facebook they got off. So we know what could be going on down there, Mama Lou. Also, of the continued COVID issues. And listen, you've operated a homeless shelter, and correct me if I'm wrong, down in the Fort Myers area. Tell us where you come from to the extent of even pre-Ian, the needs that you've seen, much less those that have had their lives completely, wiped away from the storm.
Oh, and Mama Lou, before you start that, I also, when you start talking, please, you had a great story to share with me when I was down there about the man with cancer who lived in the woods. So please tell that story because it brought tears to my eyes, and I want you to share it.
Oh, yeah. So many years ago, I had a beautiful gentleman. His name was Joe, and he used to work for the ministry. Most of my homeless end up being my biggest volunteers. They love to help and they love to do things. So we had this gentleman that had liver cancer, and I was actually able to advocate and navigate for him with Hope Hospice. And he ended up being the very first homeless man to ever have hospice in the woods. The doctors would come out, the nurses would come out. Wow. All we had to do was set him up with a mailbox out front the tree, and he was considered a resident of that particular area.
Mm.
When the guy got there with the box truck to deliver the hospital bed, I think he had a heart attack. He says, am I really setting this bed up here? I said, yes, you really are, sweetheart. We got generators. This is where he lives. And it was an amazing experience. And I think it changed some mind frame thinking in this area. I've worked with a lot of our medical in this area. And to be honest with you, they're so willing and so caring and so giving, but there's so much red tape politically over here. You can't cut it with a knife. So I don't do the hula hoop. I'm just me. I'm just Mama Lou. I help anybody, whether they're penthouse, crack house, third palm tree on the left. We help everybody.
I love it.
I know you guys laugh when I say that, but that is like my motto.
True. It's
Everybody needs help, and who are we to
Yeah.
deny anybody, you know?
Absolutely.
And if we're going to do this kind of work, you have to expect that. I have more homeless people that live in cars with children than necessarily in the woods sometimes. I mean, some are really good with being that way, and they're lifetime homeless people, and they're going to stay that way because that's what they prefer.
Mhm.
But we have a lot of displaced families now more than ever. But even without this hurricane, it was already disastrous in this area because there is no room at the inn, so to speak. The facilities that are supposed to be open only house so many beds. You have to know the in and outs around it all to get people proper help around Lee County is kind of crazy. Just saying. I know Charlotte County is much better when it comes to their homeless coalition, and they're capable of placing people. We just don't have it here. They say there's beds, they say there's shelters, but you go ahead and try to get in one. Good luck with that.
And I know
It's
you
not
say that it's
happening.
worse. I know that you say that it's worse than ever, Mama Lou. And listen, I come from the emergency medicine environment. You know, that's what I did for, 34 years up in Ohio. So,
Awesome.
we saw homelessness, up front, personal every day. Of course, there's
Yep.
some degree of mental illness, with some of the homeless
Absolutely.
population, but the families that you're talking about. Listen, we have important elections coming up in a couple weeks.
We do.
And listen, we do get political in the green room now and again, but I'm just so interested in your perspective of what you see as some of the solutions, and once again, I don't want to take focus off of what we have going on, next weekend down there because of the acute, urgent need. But what can we do? I mean, how can we really make a
Get
difference?
rid of that red tape that she was talking
Yeah,
about.
get rid of the red tape and use
Yeah.
the EOC money to do what needs to be done in the community. We need mental health facilities. We need
Absolutely.
transitional housing facilities.
Yes.
And we also need it not to be so political. In other words,
Yes.
and I'm not putting anybody down, but if we're the Red Cross and we're eligible for 13 million, there's mom and pops like myself that could, use one of those donated buildings and maybe actually make a difference. I'm just saying.
Yes. No,
That's
and
just,
I agree.
there's people that are hands-on experience that they get 2 minutes on the microphone at the meeting, and that's not enough time to do what needs to be done.
Dr.
We don't
Mary
need
knows
to be
better.
heard.
We know
I
that well.
always I say with the ministry, it's like, if I take the time to go on the 2-minute mic and it's not going to get anywhere anyway, I'm taking the time away from the people I could be helping.
Yeah.
So the advocacy kind of goes wayward because what do? You can't fight City Hall. You're just one person and you're trying to make a difference. I mean, I've recovered a lot of alcoholics, drug addicts, prostitutes, different things like that. Most of it stems back to mental illness. If you do not have medical insurance, you are not getting help in this country, unfortunately. And that's why I love what you guys do so much, because I mean, mental health is one of the,
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I could go on with you guys forever and a day. It would blow your mind, but I don't think it really would too much because it's just terrible. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just Florida. I'm originally a Jersey girl, so I don't get it. I just don't understand it. I mean, I went to college in Philadelphia and there was homeless everywhere, but they had adequate shelters and feeding areas and different things like that. I don't know. We just don't have it here.
Well, that's why, listen, Mama Lou, you're allowed to disparage politicians in the green room. It's allowed. And
we
I'm serious about that because we've all seen the cutting of the social safety net, in mental health,
Especially
in
mental health.
housing, all of it. In my emergency medicine experience in the old days, we would have 2 social workers literally out in the waiting room assisting families with signing up for Medicare and other social programs and things like
Absolutely.
that. So it's awful. And to me, we have to look at who is at least most capable of listening to the needs of the underserved. Okay.
Well, we have
And
our commissioners here.
But the
We
problem
have our
is it's the
county
red tape.
commissioners, but it doesn't go any further. There's red tape.
That's
It's
it.
like a
There's
hula
red
hoop.
tape.
And I don't hula hoop real well. I just don't. And it's sad. You have to depend on private benefactors, to be quite honest with you, to get the work done that you need done, because if you're looking for the state to do it, it ain't happening. I promise. I mean, it may happen on some level. I call it kiss the baby syndrome. They blow in, blow up, and blow out. They take the
pictures
picture,
of the baby.
one shot
Yep.
wonder, see you later. Like, you don't hear from them all year long. And then when there's a big event, boom, there they are.
Or an election season, then they show up.
Well,
It's
yeah,
so
well,
true.
and like they're always in election mode in Florida. Jesus have mercy.
well, that's
But
true.
it's just like, oh, hey, I'm gonna come out and volunteer. Okay, take the picture. I didn't even see you on the property. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
so
just
Mama
saying.
Lou, as we're 4 weeks past the storm, what are you seeing down there? Because like I said, no one wants to go down there with no purpose just to be a gawker. But where are the homeless now? What's happened to those that literally don't have homes, that have lost their homes? Are there shelters that are operating? What's actually going on the ground down there?
They closed the Hertz Arena down. It's back open for concerts, etc. They closed that down. Now they opened up the old public plaza as a temporary shelter for the 5,000 displaced at the Hertz that are now over there. Now it seems to be run pretty fairly decent. I mean, I'll give them that. It's being run pretty decent. You get a wristband, you get a cot, and as far as FEMA stepping in and doing any mobilization as far as mobile homes, I haven't seen any of that. There's no temporary in that area right now. There are cots, there are shelters at this place about a mile from me. They are.
And just give us your location, just so that people listening, because we have people listening around the country as well. So
I'm in a very unique location, Ruta. I'm on where the 241s come together. So you have North Fort Myers, and then you have North Fort Myers headed toward the Punta Gorda area. So the 241s, that encompasses about 1655 days, plus about 3 seriously poverty-stricken areas. And then a couple miles up the road, we also have Pine Island, Matlacha, Bokeelia, which we've been delivering truckloads daily to them as well.
They're devastated.
And we have the migrant workers up the road about a mile where I took you, Ruta. And
right, and a huge population.
It's terrible. And then we have Suncoast, which is the biggest trailer park community in Lee County. It's huge, and half of it's collapsed, so it just depends. A lot of people in this area say like 40% are, they got again and they got electric again. And the other are sitting there going, I was already poor. What do I do now?
Yeah.
And I think that's
where do I go? Where do I get?
Where do I go? Right. I'm sure a lot of people have left.
I can't even keep my cooler cold to keep the food you're giving me, Mama. What are we doing here? But what can I tell them? Can I put them in a hotel that's not available right now?
No, that's not true.
Is that not the answer? What are they going to get? Even if I got a donor for $2,000 to give somebody, a family, a hotel, they're still going to be displaced after 30 days. I mean, it's a Band-Aid. It's not a fix.
It is. It's a long-term outlook that we have to have, and why we're going to commit ourselves to making sure that we do what we can from up here. Listen, we took a pretty good knock here in Venice, but we know that each 10 miles that you go south, the devastation was exponential. So,
it gets worse. And mentally, people are really devastated, devastated. Yeah,
Just so
very
that you
definitely.
know too, on next Saturday, there are two psychiatrists coming for
Okay.
counseling. They are gonna try to be there for the whole day. They're dedicated also. They know that people just need to speak to somebody
Wow.
and just get, people are traumatized. They are. And talk about PTSD. I mean, you're talking people, or the numbers of PTSD are gonna be through the roof in that area.
Oh,
just
it's
the
I
devastation.
see it on a regular basis
Yeah.
before something like this catastrophically happens. So now it's just amplified like ridiculously. I have so many people in tears. I mean, I have homeless people that were like, Mama, we were so scared. We were just hugging the tree, praying we didn't blow away. And then I have people saying to me, I don't even know where to begin. We were uninsured, a lot of these mobile homes, they're not required to carry insurance.
Or they
So if
can't
they
get
own
it.
or they either can't afford it, they're not required, or like here we are. So FEMA's cutting a check for $700 that's supposed to make everybody shut up and go away and be happy. It's not working.
It's not working.
It's not working.
$700 is
And,
insane.
and there
No,
were
it's not
lives,
working. Like, I don't know the fire we have to light, but it's not working, believe me.
and there were lives lost, of course, right, Mama? I mean,
I
were there
watched
any?
I watched at least 14 people that I know of are gone. At least, I mean, and that's a personal count. Okay. So I'm telling you, there's 14 people, homeless or displaced, that I know died in the storm, but you're not going to hear about the homeless person that died behind the tree. Pickup trucks, and they throw them in the back, and that was the end of it. So I don't know. There was a couple that, they drink a lot, and they were in like a little shelter down toward the river's edge there by the Calahoochee, and they were just kind of, I I almost swallowed my heart. The truck pulled up, the tarp went in, the tarp came out, they went in the back, so they were drinking, and I guess they just drank themselves to death and drowned it. But in the meantime, had that not surged through their little residence there, they probably would be alive. I mean, there's still, everybody, somebody, someone, we're all human. Like, there has to be some compassion and mercy and grace there. So I don't know. I just think that there's probably a lot of unreported. I mean, in the beginning, they were saying hundreds and hundreds and the most death toll ever. And now they're like 50, 60. And I'm like, where?
They
Because in my
probably haven't
mind,
even gone in to look everywhere. There are probably people, unfortunately, that are deceased, and they're probably still missing.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know they're searching for missing people, but I don't know how that's going. I can just tell you from ground zero, what you see in the media is not really is. And that's really it in a nutshell. And it's kind of sad because there's people need to know what's really going on in the world. It's like, it's so frustrating.
It is, and I
For
think
them.
this is where, like, I think here we're going to get a little political, because I think people really need to put people into office who aren't going to be the ones that are just kissing the baby, but people that work on the ground. And I know, Mama Lou, at one point you were running for office and then you withdrew, but we need people who care and people who are actually boots on the ground. But the problem is the people who are the boots on the ground normally just don't have, one, the time to run, two, the funds, because they're busy like doing everything else with everybody else and actually giving back and working. So it's very frustrating, and it's a vicious circle, and we need to put these people who are boots on the ground, into office.
Yeah,
So because outside of
we
that,
can
it's a
get so
glass
much
bubble.
done.
We can. And I
Yep.
think this is the thing, like even our clinic, you get a few dedicated people who want to good for humanity, and the universal Crescent Clinic, it's universal. We want everybody to have access to healthcare. No one should be denied. And like you said, whether you're penthouse or in the woods, some people may not have insurance and they may not be able to afford insurance, or they may not have a PO box.
It was
You're preaching
or hugging the tree, Ruta.
I love that.
I
love that. Mama, you need to phrase that, like,
noggin.
coin it.
I know, that's my thing. Penthouse, crack house, third palm tree on the left. It does not matter.
On the left,
No, it does not matter. It's like that with our education. It's like that with our housing. It's like that with our medical. Listen, I'm a victim of the medical system. I had cancer. I ended up losing my insurance, trying to pay for the Cobra, trying to do this, trying to do that. Let me just make it clear. I'm a non-salaried employee for 21 years. And, my household itself gets devastated. I go back and forth to Fox Chase in Philadelphia for my treatments because, hey, I can't get no help over here. I'm just talking. And I know that sounds like ridiculous, but there's just no funding there for certain things. Oh, you don't qualify. If you don't make less than 12,000, you don't qualify. If you make more than 30, you're not qualified. I don't know about you guys, but rent in this area is $2,400 minimum for a decent home. Now you can get a shell of a trailer for $1,000 a month, which is inhumane. The floors are falling through. They're not even inhabitable, but we got slum landlords and they get away with it. And that's, it's like, again, it's a cesspool. It's a big old rabbit hole. And if you're not careful, you'll stay stuck in it, and you really have to be cautious on how you do things.
It is. And unfortunately, a lot of times our state in the state of Florida, I mean, whether it's releasing of Medicare funds or holding on to certain funds that could be released. And I want to just touch back on mental health because I think it's underappreciated. It's acute in this state and it's acute in this country. And then they look at why are there shootings and why is there this? Well, the mental health programs of this country are the least of the importance on most politicians' lists. And unfortunately, it's crazy. This country are the
what brought me into ministry in the first place, like I said, I went to school in Philadelphia College, and I'm going to tell you something. I worked for a company called Plus, Progressive Living Units and Systems, as I interned with them. And I'm going to tell you, they have an amazing program. They literally take the head trauma, the mental health, this, that, the other thing. You have a one-on-one status. So for every client in a household, you have a caretaker, and they go to their appointments and they do this and they do that, and they work with them really closely. There is not one facility like that in Lee County purposely. I don't know in Florida in general,
either, I can tell you. Sarasota,
yeah, no, it's probably statewide. I don't know who we talk to. I can't get an appointment with anybody. I've tried. I've done everything from the White House down to here to this house. So I don't know. I can't get government to listen, if that makes sense.
And honestly, like, even if you do, like you said, you'll
I
get
have no hidden
30
agenda.
seconds.
I'm like, let's
give
have
you 30
a
seconds to make a point.
Let's have serious caffeinated conversation here. I can talk to you. We can have a cup of coffee. Like, if you want change to happen, it has to happen on every level. It's not just building a highway. We got to build an environment for our families that is safe first before we can build the highways and the byways. Like, seriously, what we have is organized chaos.
And I don't think it's even that organized.
Talk
about
an oxymoron.
I'm trying to be nice so I don't get hung at City Hall, but yeah, I get it.
No, but you fight at City Hall. I mean, you go there and you do try to get those 2 minutes. Dr.
I'm
Bailey,
nice to everybody.
I mean, we all
and
do what
try
we
not
do.
to defamate anybody, but at the same token, come on, guys, let's do this.
Yeah.
Now, Lucy, listen, we love you being out there as the tip of the spear, and we're so honored to be able to associate with you for the event coming up. Ruta, make sure you give the big shout out to it and what people can do.
Lucy, Mama Lou, give
like every green room, it goes fast.
It does. So Mama Lou, give us some information on the ministry and where people can donate, because UCC has its own donation site, so we can get medical equipment in and medical supplies. But give a shout out to yourself and your peeps and your organization.
Well, we're Lucy's Love and Light Ministries. It's LLLM. It would be P.O. Box 4312, North Fort Myers. 33918, and they can also cash app at the cash symbol Mama Lou and the crew. It's MOMLUANDCREW, and that's on Cash App under Lucy Bonsanto, Mama Lou and the crew. But honestly, right now with the mail, the PO box seems to be working well as well. If somebody, it's PO Box 4312, North Fort Myers, Florida 33918, because our mail system's still not up and running 100% here as yet, but the PO box is.
Sure. No, because I know the roads still are impassable and things like that.
So I mean, you know, or they can donate to you
Yeah, and we'll
and
get
put a note
funding
on it
through
that, yeah,
if they
not a
want it to
big
go to
deal
you.
either.
Yeah,
We
no
we
worries.
need help all year long, you know, so anything that anybody wants to do to support the work we do in Lee County, that would be amazing.
So just a shout out to everyone because we do have to start wrapping it up because of the time does fly on our green room. So next Saturday, for anyone that's looking to help people down in Lee County, and people, we're lucky in this area, like Dr. Barry said, we took a knock, but not as heavily as people as we go more south did. So we're still looking for volunteers. We're looking for donations, non-perishables, medical supplies, all of that. You can visit our website. We'll throw everything up on our website, and we'll also throw things on our Facebook page. So look for that. It's next Saturday, November 5th from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. And it's on 2900 North Tamiami Trail, I believe. Is that the correct address?
Yes, 2900 North Tamiami Trail. And we'll be there, and
We'll
we'll
be
just be
there.
there, be in the hands and feet in the community trying to help some people. It'll be awesome. I
And
think it's gonna
honestly,
be,
for our viewpoint, if we can
Now-
help one person, we've helped up somebody, you know, that's our main
oh,
goal.
you're gonna
Listen, I
help
wanna
more
start
than one,
walking,
because I've already
today to get
plastered it
there.
everywhere, and everybody's like,
Awesome.
Mama, are they still coming? Are they
We're
still coming?
coming,
Yes,
we're
they're coming.
coming.
I had a
Listen,
little
look,
homeless
Mama,
guy look at me.
We
I
would
had a
have come
homeless
last
guy
week.
look at me yesterday with an
Oh.
open wound on his hand, and it's all pussy and infected. He's like, Mama, can they clean that when they come? And I said, yes, they can.
Yeah. Oh, well, also we will, just so that you know, Mama Lou, so we are going to have we have confirmed a pharmacy will be dispensing on location. They're going to be setting up shop and dispensing. So hopefully we'll get the people the meds they need on that day, and we don't want any delays for them getting their medications.
Yeah, we have a bit, just so you guys know too, we have a big request. I'm thinking antibiotics,
Yeah,
heart
antibiotics
medicine,
are huge. Yeah, we have
Yes, definitely
blood pressure.
antibiotics.
Yep. Yep. And now
And
that you
blood
set up a
pressure.
respiratory, yeah, we'll consider that too.
Big time upper respiratory. Like, I think that's gonna be a huge issue when you guys come. You're gonna see a lot of upper respiratory, a lot of open infected wounds, skin rashes, and funky things going on. From the stagnant water, for everything from E. coli to who God knows what.
Yeah.
Well, for sure. And listen,
I-
there is they're calling the triple-demic, which is COVID, influenza, and the RSV, which is respiratory syncytial virus, which has always been around. So we're heading into that season, even down here in Florida, that we would consider to be the fall, winter, type of season. So listen, like I said, I'd start walking today to get down there for next week, kind of a Johnny Appleseed type of thing. Maybe people would donate for every mile I would walk or something, Ruta, but I'm teasing, but I'm not. We've been waiting to get down there from day one. Every bit of us up here wants to join with what you're doing down there. So financially, if people can help, do it now.
Do it now.
Perfect timing.
Forward to coming down.
Doctor, it's perfect timing. It really is, because in the beginning, you wouldn't have been able to reach them as closely. Now that things are settling down is when they need it, because they're getting sick. Like, people are sick. Like, now they're realizing they're sick. First it was panic phase 1, and then it was get the lights on phase 2. And now it's like, oh my God,
Not
I
feeling well.
can't stop coughing. My chest is heavy. My eyes are watering. I have a rash. I don't know what's going on. So there's a lot of that going on.
And I haven't seen my doctor in 4 weeks, and I'm out of my blood pressure medicine and my insulin too.
Oh yeah, they're going crazy.
Yeah,
for
we will have
insulin.
insulin. We have insulin already donated from another pharmacy. And I have to
chronic needs, of course, on top of the acute. So listen,
and I have to give out a quick shout out before we go. Our pharmacy is Sarasota Discount Pharmacy, Cornerstone in Englewood, Bradenton Family Physician. They have donated cumulatively over $200,000 worth of medicines to us. So
God bless them.
Yeah, God
so
bless
much.
them. Really big shout out to all those pharmacists. They answer the call when we call. So it's phenomenal.
Wonderful.
Early voting is
Such
open.
a blessing.
Vote.
Oh yeah, early voting is open. So everybody, please, who's registered to vote, go vote. Every vote counts. Make your voices
Make a
heard.
difference.
It does make a difference. Every vote makes a difference. So we're going to be
It
wrapping
does.
up. So we're going to probably continue with this next week, obviously, because it's the week right before elections. It's the week before November 5th, where we're having our clinic. We ask that everybody, donate what you can to the Lee County area and come out and join us. And we'll see you all next week. And please, everybody stay safe and hope Patty gets better, Doc. And we'll see you all next week on the Green Room. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed day.